Hello everyone, coming at you with another flow video. Today I am celebrating 2 years of sobriety from drugs and alcohol, so very excited about that. So I was going to kind of theme this class around some of the concepts that are really important for those of us that are in recovery, and thinking about it, we're all in recovery from something, be it drugs or alcohol or depression or codependency or anger. We all have hurts, habits, and hangups that we're dealing with that these concepts can be helpful for. So we're going to start standing on our mats at the top today. So let's start out with the feet about hip width distance apart, coming into Tadasana or mountain pose, having the palms facing forward. And if it feels comfortable, maybe gently closing the eyes and feeling the body really ground and root down into the earth. Imagining roots growing through the feet, in the center of the feet, grounding us into the earth. Whenever we're dealing with something as powerful and as all-consuming as some sort of an addiction, feeling grounded and rooted into the earth is such a vital concept to begin to cultivate. And these shapes, like Tadasana, as simple as they may seem, can help us begin to take some of these concepts in our recoveries from the mind and allow them to sink down into the heart. So let's start inviting some of the breath in, becoming aware of maybe the rise and fall of the belly or the chest, the rhythm of the breath, knowing that anytime we are projecting into the future and worrying, or we're thinking about the past and we're in maybe regret or wishing things would have been different, when we return to the breath and we keep our awareness with the breath, it brings us back into the present. Let's all take a breath in and a breath out. Another breath in and a breath out. And on the next inhale, starting to float the arms up overhead, nice and slow here. Allow them to meet overhead, hands meeting. Exhaling, hands down to heart center. Inhaling, floating the arms up, syncing up the breath with the movement as a way to remain grounded and rooted in this present moment. Allowing the body and the breath to be one unit. Let's inhale the arms up one more time. And this time, grab the left wrist with the right hand. Exhale, come into a side bend over to the right. And really pushing down into the outside of the left foot can alter the sensation quite a bit. Breathe into the left side. Let's take another inhale, come back to center. Switch wrists, left grabs right, and bend it over toward the left, opening up the right side, experiencing spaciousness in between the ribs and the right side. And with an inhale, raise it back up. Exhale, cactus the arms down, elbows come to in line with the shoulders, maybe coming into a slight back bend, allowing the heart to really open up and shine here. Opening up the chest, opening up our hearts. Inhaling, arms raise up. Exhaling, cactus, and letting the heart shine. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, cactus. This time, inhale, arms up, and start to come down into a fold. So if you have blocks and you like to use blocks, this is a great place for the blocks to be underneath the hands to bring the floor a little closer. Let's just hang out for a few. You may want to bring hands to opposite elbows, either hanging out here or maybe gently rocking side to side. Allowing space in the vertebrae of the back to be created. Let's come back to center, take a breath in. Exhale, plant the hands or fingertips. Let's inhale, bring hands to shins, come into a half lift. Hold here for a few breaths. Long spine, crown is facing forward. Let's take a breath in. And with the exhale, fold it back down, plant the hands. Step both feet back, coming into a plank. And we're gonna lower the knees nice and wide here, coming into a child's pose. As we begin our practice today, taking some time to reflect on the concept of surrender, of accepting the hurts, habits, hang-ups, addictions as they are, as a part of us, knowing that all those things, although they are there, that ignoring them and pushing them away, pretending they don't exist, only pushes them further into our person. So in a sense, we're surrendering to the fact that these things are there, they exist. I just said exist. They do exist. And maybe coming into the first step in the 12 steps is admitting that we're powerless over those things in our lives. Knowing that as we start to heal, that we start to develop a sense of power. As long as I don't put a drink or a substance in my body, I have power to stay away from it. Let's go ahead and inhale, start to float the chest up off the mat, shifting the weight forward, coming into a tabletop. Setting ourselves up for support, we're going to have wrists directly under the shoulders. Fingers are spread nice and wide on the mat. Tops of the feet are pressed into the mat. Let's inhale. Find a lengthening in the spine as the crown faces forward. And exhale. On the next inhale, drop the navel down. Gaze comes forward slightly. Exhale, pushing into the fingertips, rounding at the spine, coming into cat. Inhales to cow. Exhales to cat. Let's do one more cat. And then returning back to a neutral spine, taking a breath in, giving the body some time to recalibrate. And a breath out. On the next inhale, floating the right leg behind, coming onto the ball of the foot, rocking back and forth a few times here. Eventually inhaling, the right leg comes high, foot's fully flexed. And then maybe inhale, and the left arm starts to float forward. Engaging the glutes and the hamstrings, feeling into the strength, to the resolve of the shape. When I'm in this shape, there's a natural sense of determination that comes up in me. What's coming up with you? What feelings are coming up with you? Noticing what those are. Let's take a breath in and exhale. Return left hand and right knee back next to left. Let's inhale. The left leg comes behind, coming onto the ball of the foot. Rocking a few times back and forth. Spine is long, crown of head's facing forward. In the rocking inhale, the left leg raises up off the mat, foot's engaged. And then maybe we want to inhale and bring the right arm facing front. So the hand is fully engaged here, the foot's fully engaged. Noticing how even though the right fingertips aren't doing anything to keep us in this shape, maybe noticing that when they're flexed and they're pointed forward, how that provides some sense of support to keep us in this shape. Let's take a breath in and return hand and leg back down. Let's sink it back down. Hips come toward, our glutes come toward the heels. Bring the tops of the forearms on either side of the legs, coming into an egg pose. Bringing forehead down to the earth, sighing everything out. Allowing here for everything to float down and melt down into the mat. Coming back into the present moment by noticing where the breath is. Maybe you feel it in the sides, in the upper or lower back. Just take a breath in and a breath out. And on the next inhale, start to bring the hands forward, bringing the torso up, flipping the toes, pushing into our downward facing dog. If you're like me, this is your first down dog of the day. So let's spend some time syncing up the breath with bending alternate knees. Pushing one heel toward the mat while bending the opposite knee and then switching it out. A lot of recovery is taking things slow, setting ourselves up for success, taking suggestions, but also doing the preparatory work that's needed to sustain us through the process. The wonderful thing about yoga is it gives us a visual, something physical that we can do to start to embody these concepts of recovery, of taking things slow, of providing ourselves with support. Let's bring the knees to neutral. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lifting the heels up. Exhale, knees come down halfway, coming into bear. Bring the gaze between the hands. Inhale, shift the weight forward, coming into a plank. Exhale, lowering it down, raising up into our cobra. Flipping the toes back to down dog. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, knees lower halfway. Shift the gaze, inhale, bring the weight forward, coming into our plank, and lower it down, raise up into our cobra. Flip the toes again, down dog. On an inhale, heels are high. Exhale, coming into bear. Inhale, weight shifts forward. And exhale, lowering it down, coming up into cobra. Flip the toes, coming back into down dog. Let's take about 3 breaths here, checking in with the body, checking in with the breath. After about 3 breaths on an inhale, the right leg is high. And on an exhale, stepping right foot to right thumb. Let's inhale, find some length in the spine, and exhale. Start to drop down the left knee. On the next inhale, raising the arms up overhead. And exhale, let's bring the hands down to the side to Tadasana arms. Really feel into this stretch. Really enjoy it. Guiding the left hip a little forward to come in line with the right hip. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. On the next inhale, raising the arms back up overhead. With an exhale, we're going to start to find length in the right knee, bringing hands down to either side. Let's inhale to a long spine. And exhale, maybe starting to fold. On your next inhale, start to walk the fingertips, the hands forward, bring a bend back to the right knee. Inhaling, arms rise up. And on an exhale, left arm comes forward, right arm pivots back. And then maybe you want to come into a twist, bringing the gaze back toward the right fingertips. These twists are great for massaging our internal organs. If you have been a substance user, Lord knows our internal organs can use a lot of help, all the help they can get. There's not a lot of ways to massage them. So these twists are fantastic for that, wringing all the junk out. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. Let's inhale. Let the right arm come and join the left. Exhale it out. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, hands come forward, flip the left toes, pushing it back into our down dog. Let's take some time here in the down dog to walk the dog a few times. Maybe it would feel nice to shift the hips over in one direction, then shifting them over to the opposite direction. Let's come back into our static dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. On the next inhale, the left leg is high. On an exhale, left foot to left thumb. Let's inhale to lengthen. Exhale, dropping right knee down. On an inhale, arms raise up. On an exhale, allowing the arms to come down into Tadasana arms, feeling into this shape, guiding the torso toward the front of the room, allowing the right hip to shift forward, feeling into this stretch, feeling all of the feels. Whether you're a previous substance user or not, escaping feelings is something that probably all of us do from time to time to varying degrees. So allowing yourself to feel what's present, and it may not always be a pleasant sensation, but allowing it to be, using the breath to breathe in to whatever is unpleasant. And then with an inhale, the arms float up overhead. And with an exhale, start to find length in the left knee, coming up on the heel of the left foot. Inhale, find a long spine. And exhale, start to fold it down. As you're engaging with what sensations are present in the body, rather than saying, oh, this hurts or this doesn't feel good, maybe if it were a color, what color would it be? Assigning it a color rather than a label. Let's use an inhale, start to walk the hands forward, bringing a bend back to the left knee. You're gonna inhale, arms up overhead, exhale, right arm comes in front, left arm pivots back, coming into our twist. Maybe the gaze comes back toward the left hand, allowing that massage of the internal organs, allowing everything to be wrung out like a rag. Maybe imagining anything that's not beneficial for you in this moment dripping down onto the mat, being absorbed into the earth. Let's take a breath in. And on the exhale, left hand meets right. Inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale, hands come down. Let's bring the left knee back, bring the knees wide apart, come back into our child's pose. It's very important to take time to allow our bodies to recalibrate, especially if you are new to yoga or new to mindful movement. Taking ample time to pause and reflect and notice. These movements can bring up a lot of things that if we don't take the time to notice, they may be missed. We may miss patterns in the way we think, and the messages we tell ourselves, or we may miss a feeling altogether that's there, but we're not taking the time to develop the awareness to begin to experience those feelings. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. On the next inhale, shift the weight forward, flip the toes, coming into our downward facing dog. On an inhale, right leg is high. On an exhale, right foot to right thumb. Inhale, start to float up, coming in to our crescent lunge. There's a generous bend, the left knee, knitting the thighs together. Back left heel is up. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. Another breath in to lengthen. And on the exhale, left arm comes forward, right arm pivots behind, coming into our twist. Let's take a breath in. And on the exhale, right hand to left hamstring, left arm comes up. Take a breath in here. And exhale, return to the twist. Take a breath in. Exhale. Right hand comes to left. Inhale. Raise it up. While you're raising up, find length in the right knee. Pivot the back foot about 45 degrees. So you're on separate train tracks with the feet. Let's take a breath in. And on the exhale, beginning to float it forward and fold it all the way down. Bringing fingertips or hands to the mat. Let's take a breath in, lengthen, and exhale, maybe fold a little bit deeper. Let's inhale, find a long spine. Exhale it out. Pivot the left foot back so the toes are facing forward. Find a bend in the right knee and inhale. Raise it back up into our crescent. And exhale, step it forward. Left foot meets right. Sink it down into a chair. Just take a breath in and a breath out. On the next inhale, start to bring the arms up, find length in the legs, hands meet overhead, bring them down to heart center. Another moment for us to pause, to reflect, to notice what's present, and to begin noticing in a way that's neutral. So rather than saying this is good or this is bad, finding a color, or maybe if a color doesn't work for you, finding a shape that matches what's being felt or experienced. On your next inhale, starting to bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, let's swan dive it down, folding it all the way down. Inhales, coming into our half lift with a long spine. And on the exhales, stepping the feet back, coming into plank. Inhales, shifting weight forward, and exhaling, lowering it down, coming into our cobra and meeting in down dog. On an inhale, the left leg is high. With the exhale, left foot to left thumb. Inhales, raising it up. Nice bend in the right knee with the heel facing up. Let's inhale, shine a little brighter, and exhale, right arm in front, left arm comes behind, coming into our twist. Again, maybe the gaze comes over toward the left hand. And if balance is a struggle here, engaging the inner thighs, really pushing them into one another for some support. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. On the next exhale, start to bring the left hand back to meet the right. And on an inhale, starting to float the arms up, find length in the left knee. And then we'll pivot the right foot about 45 degrees. Again, separate train tracks here. Let's inhale, torso facing forward. And exhale, folding it down. Let's inhale, finding length in the spine. And exhale, softening into a fold. This shape, for me, brings up kind of a feeling of humility. There is strength in this shape, but with the upper body bowed forward, it's also a shape that puts me in touch with a sensation of being humble or even surrender, while also being supported, while also being strong. Just inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, fold a little deeper. And then inhale, start to bring a bend in the left knee, shift the right toes back forward, raise it back up. And exhale, right foot meets left. Let's bring it into our chair. Let's inhale, raise the arms up overhead. And exhale, swan dive it down. Inhales to find a long spine. And exhales, planting the hands down, Bringing the knees down. Coming into a seat. I sit so much when I do yoga, and we didn't start sitting. We haven't sat yet. So, yay. I like sitting. It feels nice. So, this next shape we're going to be doing is going to help with our hips a little bit. It's going to be fire log. So, bringing the left foot in front, left leg in front. It's going to be in a relatively straight line. It may not be perfectly straight, and that's fine. Whatever works for you. And then we're going to bring the right leg and bring it right on top of the left. Now, if there is a gap between the knees or the knees and the floor, you can always bring, I don't know that this will be the right size for me, but you can always bring a block here or here or both, whatever works for you. Then bringing the hands to the knees or the thighs, or maybe you want to bring the fingertips just to touch your mat. Use inhales to find length. Exhales to allow shoulders to drop and everything to soften down. Breathing into sensation while also using this as a time to connect with breath, connect with sensation, or maybe reflecting on the practice, reflecting on one of the principles in your recovery that maybe you felt a little more connected with today. Let's take a breath in and a breath out. Then uncrossing the legs nice and slow, using the hands maybe for support. Let's bring both feet to the mat. Hands a little bit behind the glutes, and rock the knees a few times side to side. Option to bring the feet further apart or closer together. Whatever does it for you today. And eventually coming into fire log on the other side. So having the right leg in front, parallel to the body, and then guiding the left foot on top, just kind of in the crease where the knee is. Placement for the hands is optional. You may want to bring the hands to heart center this time. Maybe feeling the beating of the heart against the thumbs. This practice is all about taking information, head knowledge, things that are in our head that may be truths that we know, but we may not feel them in our heart, in our bodies, in our person. So really allowing yourself to connect with the beating heart, knowing that as we go through movements mindfully, that it allows us to begin to embody qualities like acceptance, surrender, humility. Let's take a breath in. And on the exhale, release the hands behind. Let's bring the feet to the mat. Again, rocking side to side a few times. Eventually, making our way down onto our backs. However you'd like to get there, I'm going to give you an option though. Bringing the feet to the mat, the knees face up. Bring the hands a little forward. Inhale, find length. On the exhale, start to round at the spine, and as you do, allow the body to start to float back nice and slow. Maybe you want to raise the feet off the mat a little bit or not. Then allow everything to sink down, coming into Shavasana. Once you're here, dorsiflex the toes toward the midline. Spin them around the ankles, and then let the heels fall to the earth. Feet slightly apart. Find your Shavasana. Mistakes that I have made. I am not the things my family did. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light, I am light, I am light. 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 Let's start to deepen the inhales, finding length in the exhales. Maybe beginning to bring some subtle movement to the fingers and toes. Waking ourselves back up nice and slow. Option 2, roll over onto your favorite side and spend a few moments there if you'd like, or staying in Shavasana as long as you would like. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in you. Thank you.